The mayor today is calling for more bail reform. He says the current system is leading to more repeat offenders and higher crime, but not everyone agrees. Let's go right out to News 12's Julio Avila for more on this hot button issue. Julio.
Yeah, well, Mayor Eric Adams says it's not bail reform itself that he's going after. Instead, it's the people that he says are taking advantage of a system that are putting criminals back onto the streets. Now, the mayor, he says data the city collected showing high rates of people winding up back in jail since bail reform went into effect back in 2019. Now, the mayor shared some of those numbers. He says that this year, more than 2,300 people arrested with a gun, and of those people, more than 1,900 back on the street right now. That's an 80% of the people arrested with guns. Meanwhile, he says this year also 165 people arrested on a second gun charge, and now 82 of them are back on the streets. The mayor arguing people aren't going to take gun law seriously if this keeps happening. Now, some do disagree with the mayor and his findings, even as the mayor assures New Yorkers bail reform was needed, but that he can't ignore criminals exploiting a system to be back on the streets.
This is unsustainable as a city. And that makes us less safe. It also undermines the morale of our communities and the police department that's sworn to protect them.
Now, after the mayor's announcement, some are sounding off, including the Legal Aid Society, the agency saying, quote, "The numbers don't lie." And last week, multiple outlets reported on data released by the New York State Office of Court Administration showing that bail reform has had little impact on recidivism and as an overall driver of crime, despite the repeated attempts by this administration to cherry pick a handful of cases to misguide New Yorkers and convince them that bail reform is responsible for all of society's ills. And then there's State Senator Zellner Myrie also speaking out saying, quote, "The mayor's repeated calls for further changes to bail reform aren't based on facts. State data show a decline in rearrests since 2020, whether someone made bail or was released on their own recognizance." Now, last week, the mayor did speak with State Assembly Speaker Carl Heastie about bail reform. He says those discussions are going to continue and that the data he presented today, he'll also present to the Assembly Speaker. We're in Soundview. I'm Julio Avila, News 12.